Hi, and welcome back to Dating Advice After a Divorce. My name is Craig, and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about the top 7 red flags that people look for on a first date. Now, these are in no particular order, but the first one I want to start with is smoking. Now, chances are if you met on a dating app, it lists whether you're a smoker or not. Not all of them do, and not everybody answers that question. But smoking can absolutely be a red flag for many people. They hate everything about it, from the fact that there is nothing good about smoking to begin with. It is just absolutely poisoning you and killing you. The fact that it stinks, it's expensive, there's nothing good about it. So some people want nothing to do with people who are smokers. Other people might say, okay, I can date a smoker if they are willing to do a few things, which would be when they go out and smoke a cigarette, they go inside, brush their teeth right away, and maybe put some perfume on or some cologne on to cover it up. There are ways that you can live with a smoker, but some people are like, absolutely not. So that could be a huge red flag just right there. The second thing that I've got is more of an observation. It's not necessarily that you're going to talk about this one. This is an observation, which is drinking too much on a first date. Let's say you agree to meet somewhere to have a couple drinks before you even go out to dinner, okay? And a couple drinks would just be like 1 or 2, and then it's like, okay, it's time to go. If you have like 4 drinks, and then you go out to dinner, and now you have 5 or 6 drinks, I'm telling you, that person is going to be aware of how much you've been drinking. And for you to say, well, I'm nervous and I'm just drinking to take the edge off a little bit, be that as it may, that person is going to most likely assume that you have a problem because you just drank a lot in 2 to 3 hours. And you're just saying, oh, it's because I'm nervous. That other person, without you guys talking about it, is most likely assuming that you have a drinking problem. And they might just be like, no, this is not for me. I don't want to deal with that. I've dealt with alcoholics in the past. I'm going to pass on somebody that's drinking this much in front of me on the first date. So you need to be aware of that. Number 3 would be drama with your ex. Now, this definitely comes up in most conversations on a first date, which would be, especially if you're both divorced, is how your divorce went, how is your relationship with your ex now? Because we want to know what we're getting into. Are we about to enter into a relationship with somebody who has a terrible situation, a terrible ex that's making their lives very difficult? So do I want to enter into that? If the person says, yeah, I just had to file a restraining order against my ex-husband because he just beat up the guy I went out with last week, boom, okay, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. That's not something I'm interested in dealing with at all. So it's things like that. If the ex is still making your life very difficult, that could be whether it's physical or emotional or dealing with your kids, like every single time you guys drop your kids off, there's a fight and an argument. Somebody might not want to get involved with that. You could be at a point in your life where you're just like, I just want to meet a great person and fall in love and move forward in life and be happy and go do fun things together. And dealing with somebody's crazy ex could be something that people just don't want to deal with. Kind of going along with this, number 4 would be if somebody cannot stop talking about their ex, whether it's ex-husband or wives, or even an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend that they recently ended with. If you keep talking about your ex during dinner, let's say, and you're not even really on that subject, where you're just like, oh, that's exactly what my ex would have ordered that dinner. Or, oh, my ex hates that movie. Oh, my ex keeps bothering me on Facebook. We're going to assume that you're not over this person because you have not cut them out of your life completely. You keep randomly bringing them up. That to me would say, okay, you're not ready to be dating. You're hung up on this person still. You can't get over your ex. Even if you're saying things such as like, oh, he's such an idiot. Oh, I can't stand him. Okay, there could be a time if you get on the subject of, why did your last relationship end? That doesn't always come up, but if it did, then you talk about it for that period of time. But if you keep bringing that person up throughout the whole conversation or that whole evening, I'm telling you, the other person's going to assume you are not over them yet. And they'll most likely say, this is a red flag. I'm going to pass on this. You got some issues to deal with, and maybe we can come back to this later. Number 5 would be another one of those observations, just like the drinking one. And this would be, how do you treat other people? You have 2 or 3 hours on a first date to make a good first impression, right? We're getting to know each other. We're taking in all this information and we're processing everything. What you're saying, what you're talking about, but also how you are acting. And if you are being rude to the waiter or waitress, the cooking staff, whatever, if you are rude to other people, that other person is going to pick up on that. If you're, snapping your fingers, hey, want another drink over here, or what's taking so long with our food? What's going on? If you're being rude and short, they're going to look at you and say, wow, if he's this rude to people he doesn't even know, how's he going to treat my family? How's he going to treat my friends? How's he going to treat me? So how you treat other people is an observation that people are using to make a judgment about you. Number 6 would be talking just about yourself. If you make the whole conversation, the whole evening about you, I love this about, I love my car. I work on my car all the time. I work out all the time. If everything is just about you, you come across as being very self-centered. If you are not asking her questions, getting to know her, then she's going to be like, this guy is just about himself. Or if you're only asking questions just to get the conversation back to what you want to talk about, that right there, huge red flags. Because it's got to be a two-way street, She's asking you questions, you're asking her questions, and you're listening, and you're repeating back to her to let her know that you're listening and asking questions about what she said. Can't just be one way, where you're just talking about yourself. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, gone out on a date with somebody, but it can make for an extremely long and uncomfortable evening of just listening to somebody just talk about themselves. Number 7 would be how you talk about your family. Now, this one doesn't always come up on every first date, the relationship you have with your family, but it can. And this one is for guys. If a woman does bring this up, I really truly believe they want to know how you treat your mother. That's the big one right there. Because how you treat your mother is a great indication of how you're going to treat her. If you're just like, yeah, I've got a terrible relationship with my mom. We don't get along. We never talk. She was terrible to me growing up, very abusive and all this kind of stuff. Be that as it may, let's just say you had a terrible childhood. I still think there's a certain way you could say that without being super negative. Oh, I hate her, she's terrible, all this kind of stuff. Where you could say, yeah, I don't have the greatest relationship with this person in my family. It's too bad, it's unfortunate. You don't have to get super detail with what the actual issues are because you're just meeting somebody, so you don't have to go into explicit details about things, but you can just be like, yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't have the best relationship with my mother, with my father, my brother, or my sister, or whatever. I hope that at some point we will be able to mend this fence and become friends again. Be positive about it and optimistic and hope that it does turn the relationship around. But if you are especially going after your mother, I think that's a huge red flag that women are looking at, because how you treat your mom is a great indication of how you are possibly going to treat her. So there you go. Those are just 7 red flags. There are so many more, and I can make more videos about this later too. But just for red flags that people are looking for on a first date, those are some good ones to start with right there. There you go. I hope you found this helpful. And please be sure to like and subscribe and share this out with anybody that you think could benefit from this. Please comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Again, there are so many other red flags, and I should make other videos about that as well, because I'd love to know other people's red flags and what they look for and stuff like that. You know, one on here, even like a bonus one would be, is pets. Because somebody could be deathly allergic to cats, right? I got a cat. And if they are deathly allergic to a cat, I should know that, because there is no reason for a date number 2. I've gone out on dates and dated people who've been allergic to cats, but you know, if the cat's not walking all over them and, you know, there's not cat hair all over the place, generally you can make something like that work. But little things like that, little things that you're not willing to make any kind of changes on, should be discussed. And something like pets is one of them. So there you go. All right. I will end on that. I hope everybody has a great day. I will see you again real soon. Thank you very much. Have a great day.